Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Spring Cup. The Spring Cup is going to be available for 2 weeks here now. It's going to feature 1500 CP Pokemon that are going to be only from the type of Water, Grass or Fairy. For that, 3 Pokemon got banned. One is Roserade, one is going to be the Toxapex, and one is going to be the Jumpluff. The rest is going to be allowed. And today we're going to take a look at this one. If you enjoy this type of videos, of course, feel free to leave a like and subscribe as we can move on now to the first team. But first, I have to thank today's sponsor of the video, FlexiSpot. This is already the 3rd time that FlexiSpot is sponsoring a video on this channel. I already showcased before the EC5 height adjustable table as well as the BS8 office chair, which I have been using since then, and honestly, the quality is great of the products. And yeah, I've used them daily, so I'm really happy that we have FlexiSpot again here as a sponsor on the channel. But today, they sent me the FlexiSpot XL7 Recliner chair. I am super happy that we have this collaboration today because, yeah, as I just moved into a new flat as well, I definitely enjoy some furniture, and the recliner chair is absolutely amazing. Having access to 2 cup holders, 2 snack storages as well, plus a massage and heat function makes this an absolutely lovely chair, I have to say. I've been spending already a week in that chair basically, and I can really recommend this to you. The chair was super easy to build up as well, only took like 5 minutes because you just have to plug in the parts. Quite heavy though, but yeah, link down to FlexiSpot's Amazon is down below. Feel free to check it out. The quality of the products are absolutely amazing. Again, 3rd time already on the channel, and yeah, I enjoy the products every day, so yeah, hopefully you enjoy them as well, and we can move on to the video now. First team is coming up here. We're going to take a look at the top meta team. What is the meta currently? The meta for this specific cup is going to be Weezing, Ferrothorn, Lapras. Literally, those are the top 3 Pokemon basically in this meta, so that's why this is the meta team. Other Pokemon that are going to be good is Tentacruel, Abomasnow, Klefki actually if you have one, which is going to be a very good Pokemon. Amoonguss, Venusaur actually going to be interesting as well apparently. Leavanny, a lot of interesting Pokemon going to be up there, and most of them are going to have featured here in today's video as well. So, otherwise, here let's take a look at this first team. We're going to see here the Weezing, the Lapras, and the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn wants to kind of run Flash Cannon in this meta. The Weezing kind of wants to run Overheat in this meta. And with that, it's going to be an interesting one, because a Weezing is going to be one of those Pokemon that are going to be, the strongest in this meta, generally speaking, but also with the moveset that we have currently, it's not that great against other Jellicents, which makes Jellicent a very interesting Pokemon. While it's not that highly ranked right now, I do think this Jellicent is going to be one of the best Pokemon to run in this meta as well, which you're going to have here as a substitute. If you don't have a Ferrothorn, for example, for this team as well. This team is absolutely amazing. Next up, we're going to have here a team with Mawile. Shadow Mawile with Fire Fang is going to be very, very strong. Power Punch is going to help it, but I also would maybe even recommend you to go for Iron Head over Play Rough, but that depends on what you want to do. There's no right or wrong with this one. But as you can see here, this team is going to have some solid players. You have a lead that's going to be very good against Grass-type Pokemon mainly, which is going to be here, for example, the Ferrothorn. You have two Pokemon in the back that kind of cover the weaknesses of the lead. And here, Mawile is definitely better than the Klefki, because you're going to have better play against Grass-type Pokemon, which your backline doesn't want to face. But also, Starmie is going to be a very cool Pokemon in this meta, because, again, you don't have Brutal Swing on the Weezing, but also you do some nice, super effective stab damage against Weezing, and also against Lapras while resisting Lapras moves, so it's really a good Pokemon in this meta, especially with Power Gem as coverage move, which is going to allow you to hit Lapras for super effective damage, and this is a very, very strong team here. Again, Jellicent as a substitute in the back would work out as well. Still, there are going to be some counters, which you're going to see on the screen here right now. For example, the Jellicent, for example, the Greninja, which is, generally speaking, most likely not the best Pokemon to run in this meta, but still maybe has some potential. We maybe gonna take a look at this one on the channel as well, not in today's video. And Lantern, again, Lantern I would assume is not going to be really getting any play in this meta. It's only really good against the Water-type Pokemon, and Mawile, which is literally why this is good against this team. Against anything else in the meta, it's not really that great. Team number 3 is going to be here the Abomasnow. We have the Weezing as a Galarian Pokemon, and here I put the Jellicent in instead, because we had Jellicent already now twice as the substitute, so kind of give it a little bit of a light to shine. Also, Abomasnow Jellicent is a great core, as if you would ever encounter a fighting type Pokemon, which I highly doubt by the way in this meta, there is, like, for example, Poliwrath, which you can run, or Breloom, which you can run, I guess, maybe. I think, yeah, that's a grass type, so yeah, it should work out. Or Chestnut, but Chestnut doesn't really matter as well. Basically, you're not going to encounter a fighting type Pokemon, but if you would, it's going to be better to have Jellicent here as your Pokemon in the back. About Snow here, I like the Shadow version with Weather Ball a little bit more. If you want to go no Shadow, it's recommended to have the Ice Unit, but I'm not too sure on how true that is as well. But this team looks like a very interesting one as well. And we can move on to the next one. As you saw there for the last one, the difficult matchups didn't really exist. There wasn't really anything that would be able to break the team that we had there. Is it the same for Double Fish? Double Fish is going to be coming up. Yeah, okay, Tentacool is not really a fish. Quillfish is a fish. It has fish in the name, so it's allowed to be a fish. I want to put Double Poison and Water there, basically, but that was too long. And as you see here, Double Fish is going to be very cool unless you encounter a Klefki. Klefki is the only big weakness for this team here. Klefki going to be able to beat kinda everything, but also kinda not, because he still do some sort of damage with Flash Cannon, with Awkward Tail. Even Poison Jab is still going to do some damage, even though it's resisted, because Klefki usually is not going to be the bulkiest Pokemon, usually is not going to be the best IVs as well, because it's very difficult to get, only available in parts of England and mainly France, so yeah, interesting Pokemon here for sure. I luckily have one, so maybe I'm gonna make some showcase towards it as well, because it got buffed recently quite a bit with Foul Play as well as Astonish. So yeah, interesting Pokemon here. Let's move on to team number 5. What you're going to have here? Credilli. Credilli doesn't look that great on paper, but I think this Pokemon has some potential. Credilli here, as you're gonna see as well, is going to be not really in the list as... Oh no, it is actually in the list quite a little bit on the bottom, but has some potential against Galarian and Weezing, which... yeah, it's going to be more neutral against Lapras, which is going to be a bit better against. But generally speaking, it's just going to be a very neutral Pokemon against the top meta. The only Pokemon that you really don't want to face is Ferrothorn, I feel like. But the rest is going to be basically fine for Credilli, which makes an interesting lead because you can just kind of play it out. I would only really swap out here most likely if I encounter something like the Ferrothorn. And then you can go into the Golisopod. Golisopod here running Aerial Ace instead of Awkward Jet is an interesting choice. I don't know if I go with that. I would more say still recommend you to go for the, Awkward Jet, because it's going to allow you to have a better matchup against Weezing as well as also the Klefki and the Mawile. So I don't think that Aerial Ace is the right choice. Of course, here you kind of want to focus on beating like Grass and Poison type Pokemon, I guess. But I don't think it's going to be the right choice for it. So again, I would recommend you to rather go ahead and go for the Awkward Jet. But as you can see here, you have some meta breakers, but they are not really, like core breakers here, but they're not really that big of a deal, because Quillfish, yes, kinda. But like, again, like you don't really have a lot of bulk, so even Golisopod going to do some damage. It's like, it's not going to destroy the entire team. Empoleon instead though can be a bit more of a trickier one. But again, I don't think it's going to be too much of a difficult Pokemon for that as well. But yeah, Empoleon can be a bit tricky, but yeah. If you encounter in the lead, maybe, but otherwise not really that much either. You don't have the bulk on this Pokemon either, but there's going to be a team with Empoleon coming up very soon. Not this one, we're going to have a triple water team. And again, I don't think that this is going to be very difficult to run. And you see, oh, we don't have a resistance against electric type Pokemon, because we don't really need it. Who's going to run electric type Pokemon? There are, I think, 2 electric type Pokemon in the meta, like Electrode Hisuian and Dedenne. Dedenne against the Weezing meta and Ferrothorn meta. Not too much. I don't really think it's going to be too scary to run a triple water team here. Do think that's going to be totally fine. And as you can see, the only real issue that I actually really think here is going to be the Jellicent, but you can still deal with it with team effort, especially if you're going to run the lead of Golisopod instead of Recliner, which is going to have a better matchup there. But Triple Water looks like a very fun meta here as well, like meta matchup. Going to have Recliner in the lead. It's going to be fine against especially the Lapras. I think it's going to be very solid against. Well, it looks like here we lose. It's going to be kind of neutral, because Lapras wants to run Ice Beam for the Grass type Pokemon in this meta. You kind of really want to run Ice Beam. So you have like the solid answer there. And then you're going to have like in the back here Lapras as your Sail Swap, going to be very good against the Weezing, and Dugong is going to be very cool as well with Drill Run as coverage move. Basically, that's also why Walrein is there. Having ground type coverage is really, really good in the current meta here for this one, and there are not really a lot of good ground types, and so we have like here a nice combination at the end there, which both have ground type moves with Drill Run and as well as Earthquake on Walrein and the Dugong. So, next up, we're going to have the king, we're going to have Empoleon, we're going to have the Golisopod as our Sail Swap. Again, you can most likely rather go for the water type movement instead of Aerial Ace, But we have Leveni in the back. Leveni actually got ranked quite high. And this team, I think, should work out quite well. Like, I do think this team should be okay to run. Could be a bit tricky against Mawile sometimes, which is the only Pokemon that I'm going to have here as like a real core breaker as well for this team. But the rest should be kind of fine. Mawile still, you can be okay with the Empoleon against it. You can be okay with the Golisopod. It needs to be like more of a team effort. Like, if you encounter Mawile in the lead, I would most say stay in. Go for a Hydro Cannon, swap out into Golisopod, go for some Aqua Jets there as well, and then you're going to be fine. Then you don't really have to face it with the Leveni, but I think Leveni has some play here, and I think it's going to be an interesting meta for sure. Team number 8, we're going to see here the fish. The fish is back, not the double fish, but a single fish team. We're going to have the Bruxish, which is going to have Confusion and Psychic Fangs, which is going to be great in the meta. It is kind of like the, what's called, the Starmie, but while Starmie has, I think, a bit better charged moves with it, you have more of the psychic typing on here. As you can see, it's going to allow you to have like great matchups against Pokemon like Lapras or the Tentacruel or the Venusaur or the Quillfish or the Weezing, like all the Pokemon that kind of normally want to face a psychic type Pokemon. And this team is honestly super strong, which you see as well with the Pokemon that's going to beat it, which is only going to be kind of the Jellicent, which again, I guess you can kind of mostly deal with it still with the Bruxish actually. Like, it still does a ton of damage against it. And the Gastrodon, which, yeah, is going to be good against the backlane mainly. Like, that's going to be the case. Gastrodon, a bit of a risky Pokemon to run. But maybe we could make a team with this. Okay, here I kind of messed up, I guess, the editing. Good job, me. There we go. Weezing, Thackery, and Gastrodon together looks like a really good team. Literally like a really good team. To the point that there is not really a lot of Pokemon that can counter this one. Gastrodon is a great Mud Slapper in this meta, of course. It is not that highly ranked. I don't really know why, because I think Gastrodon has a lot of potential here. Of course, Grass-type Pokemon are the things that you want to avoid, and I think this is kind of what puts this Pokemon super low, is because every Grass-type Pokemon, and there are a lot of Grass-type Pokemon here, are going to completely hardwall you, but there are a lot of targets in the meta, like Tentacruel, like Weezing, like the Klefki, like the Mawile. And so this team here kind of tries to keep the lead, tries to play out the lead basically with this team here, and then you kind of try to align yourself with the back there with the Mawile or the Klefki, and then the Gastrodon, because Gastrodon and Klefki going to be like having a basically perfect core there. Gastrodon going to be able to destroy those Pokemon like the Tentacruel, and Klefki going to be able to destroy those Grass-type Pokemon mainly, or Mawile as well then. So like those going to have a great core together, and as we see here as well, there's no really difficult matchup, and we can move on to team number 10. This is a funny team. This is the best team that I would have ever come up with. This is the team that you want to run if you want to be funny and spicy. This is the team with Slurpuff. And this is a team where you kind of want to troll the opponent a little bit. So what do we have here? We have Mawile, we have Barbaracle. Looking at those two together, they have a perfect core. They basically have a literal perfect core. But there's one issue. What happens if you're not going to be able to align your Pokemon correctly? What's going to be happening then? And this is the question of all questions, and this is where Slurpuff comes in play. We're going to have a lead that's going to have fire type damage with Fire Fang, and Slurpuff has Flamethrower. And Slurpuff is basically the only Pokemon really in this meta that has good coverage with fire typing, that gets to you fast, and it has like some play. There are a few Pokemon that have Fire Blast, like the Gourgeist, for example, has fire type coverage, but this Pokemon is designed to bait out Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn doesn't want to face a lead. Ferrothorn sees a Fairy-type Pokemon coming in. Ferrothorn is going to take the bait. Trust me. But also you're going to have Energy Ball against Lapras. You're going to have a lot of play against the current meta. And I think Slurpuff is the answer. Barbaracle, as your closer, is going to allow you to beat basically everything that the elite doesn't want to face. And so I think it's going to be a fun team to run. I think the best anti-meta team for this meta. And this can be it also for this video. Here are 2 answers for this team, which are going to be a bit more difficult to deal with, which is mainly, the Jellicent, to be fair again. And this is going to be it. Hope you enjoy. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.